Hey everyone, welcome back to another Stay Dead devlog. Over the past month, we've been building playable demos and finally getting them into people's hands. Right now, we're deep in playtesting, figuring out what actually works and what doesn't. So, this devlog is a bit different, but we are finally talking about something we've never really broken down before, where this world actually came from. So, for this video, we thought it would be a good moment to go back to the beginning. You might have wondered, why are there zombies on a tropical island? How did that even happen? And why does any of this matter to the game we're building? Normally, this is the kind of stuff the studio figures out later, once the gameplay is more locked in. But since we started as an animation team, we spent a lot of time early on thinking about the world, the characters, and the tone. So this time, we wanted to take a step back and share a bit of that. To walk us through it, we brought in our lead writer Carlita to talk about how the environment of Stated came together and what actually led to the world you're playing in.
In most zombie games, getting bit means game over. But in Stay Dead, it's the opposite. Getting bit is your way in. Because in this story, the apocalypse doesn't drop you into a crumbling world. It drops you onto a tropical island, a place where being a zombie isn't a problem. It's the whole point. So instead of building another bleak, post-apocalyptic zombie setting, we asked ourselves, what kind of place would make you want to stay dead? When we first started developing the story, we really just had the core idea. This game is about a community of happy zombies and a greedy medtech company that's completely hell-bent on curing them. That was the foundation. So picture this. Zombie apocalypse happens, everyone freaks out, and then this company, Care, swoops in with a cure, and let's just say it's not exactly free. Problem solved, right? Except it turns out that they actually missed a group. Once we had that, the question became, okay, so how do you lose an entire cluster of zombies? For us, the answer was pretty simple. You put them somewhere no one's looking, like a remote island tucked away in the middle of the Atlantic. Naturally, the next question is, well, how did they even get there? Early on, I landed on something that I just thought was really funny. What if it was a cruise ship? A full boat of tourists mid-vacation when the zombie outbreak hits. Everything goes sideways, total chaos, and then the ship crashes onto this remote island. But instead of it being the end of their story, it's actually the beginning. They don't get rescued, they don't get cured, they just stay and adapt and build a community. Porto Morto is born. So once we had that foundation, my next step was to put together something that the art team could actually build from. Before we get any concept art, I usually write a one-pager, a loose story, and a bunch of ideas to spark visuals. For this, I kept coming back to things I loved growing up, like the show Mike, Lou, and Og, about a foreign exchange student living on a remote island with this quirky, isolated tribal community. I always loved that clash of worlds. And that caveman episode of SpongeBob where they discover fire, I loved that Bikini Bottom had existed in totally different eras. And of course, the movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where the island just kind of evolves based on what's happening to it. So I pulled that into one core idea. What if this island has always been a little unstable, used, abandoned, repurposed over and over again, but never really had the chance to just be a place where people lived happily? Visually, that opens up a lot. Instead of a typical destroyed zombie setting, you get something more layered. Jungles growing over old structures, beaches next to leftover infrastructure, different eras sitting on top of each other. So I wrote that up, I sent it over to our art director, Freddie, and he came back with some really amazing concepts. Freddie took that foundation and pushed it into something really playful and readable. The goal was to make everything feel built by zombies, scrappy, resourceful, a little chaotic, but still clear in shape and purpose. And you see that in the chunky silhouettes, the mixed materials, how everything blends into the natural environment instead of fighting it. Even the landscapes lean into that, bright, exaggerated, slightly mutated, so that the island feels alive, a bit unstable, but still welcoming in its own weird way. From there, our 2D and 3D teams really brought everything to life, turning those ideas into a world that feels playable, layered, full of personality. Every space feels shaped over time, like it belongs to the zombies as much as they belong to it. And that was always the goal, to make the island feel like home, like it's been waiting for them. So when Care shows up with a full-scale invasion, it's not just about rescuing your family or your friends. It's about protecting the one place that gave them a life worth staying dead for. And this is really just one piece of the world we've been building. And we're still figuring it out alongside of the dev team as they shape the gameplay, how the story evolves, what happens next, even who's really behind Care. And we want to open that to our community. So if you want to follow along, share your thoughts, or just help us shape where this goes next, come hang out with us. You can join our Discord channel, tune into our monthly live updates on YouTube, or follow us along on our socials.